Jaylen Ramsay, the former Miami Dolphin, was on the pivot, right? It is. So he was on the pivot, and he was talking about the experience of making the switch and being traded from Miami to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And let me just let you listen to his comments, and then we will discuss said comments.
It was in the works for a little minute, I would say.
So he knew something else.
It was in the works, but things had to get put together the right way. Things had to come together from my standpoint to the Dolphins to the Steelers. I think all of us had to come to I guess you could say agreement. We all had to come to a consensus on what it would be. I do appreciate the Dolphins and them working with me and David, you know, not just, hey, this team called and, you know, we're going to send you here and this and that. Like, it wasn't any of that. It was very open communication with, this is, you know, y'all been good to us. I've been good to y'all. Like, let's do it the right way. Let's go to a team that's going to be able to compete. Let's go to a team where there's a lot of respect for the head coach in there and, you know, the staff, a place where I can continue developing, playing at a high level, maybe be versatile. And then, you know, I had to let David do his thing too. You know, the money was involved. So he did his thing with that. And then, you know, obviously the Steelers, you know, they really wanted me here. And, you know, at the end of the day, I wanted to be here as well. And so I just it got to a certain point where I was like, everything is good on my end. Let's get the business handled. Y'all do that part, and y'all let me know when it's a go. So that kind of took a little minute to get done, but once that got done, it was like, let's go.
Don't let it. Nobody, when they talk about going to another place, they never talk about a place where the head coach is respected. Nobody's talking about that when they're trying to move you. It's just if you fit there. Do they fit fiscally? Do you fit schematically? All of that. And they obviously, because of Ramsey being a very difficult person, you're just not going to be able to trade him anywhere. And the team that's going to take him in has to know who he is and has to connect with them first, because if not, he's going to make hell for Miami and whoever else you're trying to trade for, right? So they knew that. They had to try to accommodate. But there is no doubt in my mind when he said that part about going to a place where the head coach is respected, that's a backhanded shot at Mike McDaniel. There is no two ways about it. That's what that is. And throughout the offseason, there's constantly been proven disrespect of Mike McDaniel because people have left and had an opportunity to stay if they wanted to. You know, it's interesting how Kendall Lamb was talking about retirement until his contract became officially expired. And then he got rejuvenated and went and signed with Philadelphia. Okay? So this is, and like him, there were other examples too of people that have left. And there isn't that confidence in that building, as I've told you, for that guy. No matter what they try to tell you, no matter what they try to spin or anything like that, there's a lack of confidence in that guy in that building. But they're screwed. They gave him the new contract. And to me, unfortunately, the Dolphins are in the land of where they've been for many, many years now. Many, many years, all the way through the Huizenga years. Optics. They worry more about optics. And since the optics are, you just gave this guy an extension, they're not going to fire him right now because it would look bad on them. So we're going to play the game of waiting for cause. So when the season goes awry, then they'll turn to the fan base and say, well, we gave him a contract, but we got to do what's best for the franchise. And we got to try to win. And we're going to have to make a change and swallow that deal. Instead, they could do it now, but the optics would be really bad. Well, wait a minute. You just gave him a contract and it's about to start and you're firing him already? Well, just look at all the defections and everything that went on this offseason and the lack of investment from the top into this season, it just tells you where we're going. I've explained this over and over and over again. Are they going to tell you this? No. Just like they didn't tell you that they were tanking. You know, it's kind of like one of those things like wink, wink. Y'all know what we're doing, but we're not talking about it. And the one idiot didn't figure it out and flow. So now in this one, there's a different kind of setup. And this one sets up the cause. And when he fails, which he eventually will fail because this team is not nearly as good as it's been the last couple of years, and he's not going to get any better as a coach, we are going to deal with the optics and then go through the rough season and then go through the change, which then I'll be excited, by the way, which that's the bright side of it. I got to tell you, that's where I start smiling, and that's where I get wind in my sails, and that's where I start to develop at least a little hope, is if you can get me Weaver in there. You know, I look at Weaver, and I think that might be our best candidate in a couple decades. You know, a young guy that's kind of made the right way and has been around already and is probably ready to go. And I'd rather get him before somebody else and grow with that guy. So we'll see. And who knows, man? Maybe McDaniel shocks me and everybody else and goes out there and has an incredible season and shuts me up. I just need to win, bro. That's all. I just need to win. Please, I need to win.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.